Here is the Terex RH400 hydraulic excavator.
It's the biggest machine of its type. Nobody else has built anything as big or as powerful as that. The Terex RH400 is a pioneer. It's pushed the boundaries of technology.
The RH400 is certainly the most modern machine, using modern hydraulics and controls.
Terex, one of the world leaders in ultra-large mining hydraulic excavators, designed and built this machine so it could lift a staggering 85,000 kilos of earth in a single scoop. That's like lifting 20 elephants.
It takes, giant bites out of the face of the earth. It's fantastic.
The RH400 works in one of the most inhospitable regions on the planet, the Alberta oil sands in northwest Canada, and was designed specifically for that area.
It's a very difficult material to dig. It changes its consistency between the seasons. In the wintertime, it tends to break out into big pieces. That's difficult for the machine to handle. And the summertime, the oil sand is like a putty. And it's a very heavy push all the way through for the bucket to penetrate into the material.
The key to this oil sand busting machine is its huge bucket and strong arms, powered by the digging world's largest hydraulic system.
The RH400 is a hydraulic excavator, meaning it uses the power of hydraulic fluid, fluid power, if you will, as opposed to a cable shovel, which uses cable or wire rope.
Hydraulic systems allow machines like the RH400 to lift heavy loads by applying pressure to a small piston and transmitting fluid to the larger piston, therefore increasing the force in the most economic way.
The science of hydraulics is a very complicated thing, but I'm going to try and demonstrate it quite simply today. Here, we're going to show very simply how it produces a linear form of movement by simply creating pressure at one end and transmitting that via the fluid, the liquid, to a cylinder there, which at the end of the cylinder creates the movement. So if I press here, I'm putting pressure on there, and that's being transmitted right down the tube, and there's the movement at the end, which could work a machine or whatever.
Generally, the more hydraulic pressure a machine has, the more power it has. And the hydraulic pumps of the RH400 set a new record for excavators. It can load one of the world's biggest trucks with only 4 scoops.
You could compare the RH400 machine to a living entity. When you look at the life fluid as being the hydraulic oil, the heart of the hydraulic system would be the hydraulic pumps. There's 8 main pumps on the RH400, producing about 920 liters a minute. So it gives you a total flow or circulation of oil of about 7,500 liters a minute to move the bucket and boom attachment.
Hydraulics is one thing, but the RH400 has a lot more to brag about.
It's also very mobile compared to a lot of other machines. If it has to move to another part of the mine, there are hydraulic motors that work the tracks, and they are relatively efficient and fast.
This beast of a machine runs on massive tracks. Each one of its 96 links weighs over 1,000 kilos, bringing the total weight of the machine to a whopping 1 million kilos. However, the rules of physics suggest this kind of weight and unpredictable surfaces shouldn't actually work, and the RH400 should sink. The oil sands are like quicksand in the summer, but the RH400 doesn't sink, as its tracks self-regulate their tension according to ground conditions.
We're using the largest components on the RH400 for pumps and valves and hoses and engines. We're on the cutting edge of the technologies, and it's difficult to go any further with it.
Its disadvantage is that the hydraulics work under very high pressure, so therefore extreme safety precautions have to be taken whenever working on the maintenance of the machine.
The RH400 can sometimes do the impossible, but it isn't the most practical machine due to its immense size. Its hydraulic system is the world's most powerful, but it's also the world's most complicated and dangerous to service. For these reasons, this digger is bogged down at number 4.